Hello, everybody. We are live once again on a weekly basis for the most part for the past 70 years. How is everybody doing tonight? It is a merry, what is it, Eve of Christmas?
Eve before the Christmas
Yeah.
Eve.
Christmas Eve
The
Eve.
day,
Eve
yeah.
before the
What?
eve of Jesus's birthday.
Yeah.
Remember, Jesus was not real.
I was going to say
Okay.
he was totally
There's
real.
no.
Wasn't he
And
also born in July?
Yeah, he was
Yes,
in no
thank
way
you.
born in July. You're a goddamn antichrist liar. Okay, why you gotta be such a fucking Judas?
He
Jesus was
also
born in December in the Middle East, pale white. Okay, and if any of you
Pale.
heathens say anything besides that, I'm gonna bring my Lord down upon you, and he will smite you. Okay, don't fuck with my Lord. Anywho, and Savior.
Jesus is the reason for the season, yo.
Yeah, it's not about gifts. It's about Jesus
There's a
H,
song.
H Christ. That's not taking his name in vain. I don't want to be smoted. It's all
Jesus
about
H tap dancing Christ.
that's in vain. I think that would technically classify as in vain. Going to hell, Jen, and you're going to Catholic hell, bro. It's like
which is
pineapple,
real.
pineapple up the. Yeah, of course it is. The Catholics literally invented God just so they didn't have to wear condoms.
The last time I went to church before this last one, the preacher said that he's bringing the devil back into church
Oh,
because
that's
he wants to
always-
make he wants
Whoa.
everybody to know that hell is real.
That sounds like the line like the movie trailer guy reads in an old '90s horror movie, like bringing the devil back
Bringing the
to,
devil
to the
back.
church.
To the church.
It's and then you see Gabriel Burns walking down the streets in End of Days, like.
but
Hey, kid.
it also sounds like wrestling. Like, I'm bringing the devil back, brother.
I'm coming to town July
I've been watching-
14th, and I'm bringing someone with me.
You've been watching too many promos for
The
wrestling.
devil
Dude,
like jumps
they're
into
so
the church and he
weird.
rips off a
Like-
luchador mask, and it's him.
Like the one I watched, I don't know who the wrestler was, but he's like, "I'm coming for that ass," and I'm like, what is going on?"
So I have.
Do they also have the reaction too? Like when they realize what they said, they're like, "Oh,
yeah.
That's
Well,
not what
so
I
the
meant.
funny thing about wrestling is they have their own language. Like, The Rock made the term jabroni mainstream, but that's literally like Ric Flair uses that as a real word. Like
Yep.
he really thinks it's like he really thinks calling somebody a jabroni is an insult, and in the wrestling world it is. Like there's no other industry. Like if you can't be a Costco warehouse dude and be like this fucking jabroni over here and have that guy fucking take you seriously. Like that's not how the real world works.
there's a bunch of other words that they use in those warehouse, but you can't say them out
They
loud."
have hard
That's
R's at the
true.
end of them.
Well, I worked at a auto parts store with this like 60-year-old bald white dude with only one good eye. And
Lewis, he was Bruce Willis.
he always used the term jive turkey, which is apparently not a very
Well, you don't be speaking that jive for one thing.
But isn't it like a 1950s thing though?
70s.
Are you sure?
I ain't no. Yeah, dude, you're older than me. How do you not know?
I don't know. I thought it was like the 50s.
You were alive closer to that era. I'm 89. I'm Gen Millennial, technically, unfortunately.
oh, he also would say oriental, which was weird.
Oof, that's a hard one.
Yeah,
My
that's a
old man
rough
still
one.
says that.
That's a rough one.
I mean, to be fair, he did say Chinaman for the longest, so it was a step up. It was a little bit more respectful.
Yeah.
Dude, why is it? Okay, I'm gonna say this. Old people have a weird thing with Asian people. They don't know how to like. Why is it? Did they all just remember fucking World War II too much? They're all just
Probably.
Japanese to them. Like old people
Yeah,
have a
it
weird
is
thing
a
with
weird-
Asians.
Yeah, it's a weird attitude towards Asians. It's super strange.
They have it's almost like when you meet an old racist woman towards like a Mexican person, they also would hate an Asian person. You know what I mean? It would be the same like, who are you? What are you even? What are you? Like that the same shitty questions
What
would
are
come.
you?
That and
Yeah,
that's
what
what
are
they
you?
say. Every old bitch in a parking lot YouTube video goes right to race after the person shuts him down. It's literally like, I was just shopping and you came up into my face. The fuck's your problem? And it's like, where are you from? That's the next fucking thing. And it's like, I said, there's the one video where the woman like pulls on the girl in a gas station, and she just fucking slaps this bitch. And then she goes like, I can't believe how. And the guy who's filming is like a gay dude, I think, because he's like, you deserved it. And she's like, I watch so many of videos. I love those videos. I love the videos where it's like, I don't know, a Karen getting kind of like a slap or a beat down is always a little funny to me. You can't call them Karens, in my opinion. That's a racial term.
Yeah.
My favorite Karen video is the one who was tackled at Costco.
What? I have not seen that one.
So she goes into Costco, grabs something. They're like, "Ma'am, you have to leave because you don't have a membership." She's like, "No, I'm gonna buy this thing." They're like, "No, ma'am, you have to leave. You don't have a membership."
But Costco at one point you were able to shop there not being a member, right?
They only in
one
the food
point-
court. Only in
At
the
one
food
point,
court.
yeah.
That is the weirdest
And-
But
goddamn
she
thing.
was
the
buying
pharmacy.
supplies.
And the pharmacy.
So she takes it was like 19 something for the item she was buying. She takes out a 20. The cop is standing right there. He's like, "You have to go, ma'am." She puts the 20 on the scanner. She's like, "I'm walking away now. I'm taking the item. I'm walking away." And they show the guy recording. You see her walk off, and the cop just goes poof, like tackles her to the ground. And I'm like, yes.
Don't get me wrong, she's repulsive, but is that necessary? Like, so
I
what?
don't-
She's walking out with a Vita blender. She paid, like, she put a $20 bill. Like, do you need to tackle her? Like, as much
It's
as you
hilarious.
want to, did you need to?
Probably not, but you know that cop was like, "Today's the day."
Well, see, but that's the thing is you could tell that that area is probably a bit nicer. Because, like, if you filmed it at a Southside wholesale club, that chick would swing. Like, that cop would go to tackle her, and she'd start swinging, and still with the goddamn box in the other hand. There's rougher areas where those security guys are just like, fuck that, she probably got a knife. Like, take your Vita blender, you technically paid for it. Somebody scan a barcode for it.
Yeah.
So I gotta be honest, we didn't watch Santa Claus 3, but I'll give stars on it if you guys want to. But this episode's focused on the new Tim Allen series, The Santa Clauses. And it's all about 60-year-old Tim Allen and his how old? So we'll go into it because it is 6 episodes. It's technically a mini-series that was supposed to be a mini-series limited run, ending up getting renewed for a second season somehow. So Lewis does not see, here's the thing is Lewis once again is going off of his love for the base product. He loves the Santa Claus so much that I think much like Callisto Protocol and Dead Space, which is a little bit inside baseball.
Ooh, you know, you want to talk about
I'm
that?
just we'll talk. Hold on. My point, and I'm not saying the game doesn't have faults. By the way, it's been updated, and
I
apparently
will
it helps it
smash
greatly.
you into a jelly.
But part of your problem with, because I have beaten it now myself, part of your problem with that game is it wasn't Dead Space, and part of it was even if it didn't have the shady dodge mechanic like it does, and it's, by the way, that dodge mechanic is only shitty when you're facing multiple enemies. One-on-one, it is what it is. It's stupid, but it's easy. But even without that, it would have fallen so short of what you had in your head. It's still, you would have walked away not loving it. And like I think that's a little bit what you're doing with Santa Claus as well. A little bit.
Let me tell you what I did. My wife gave me my Christmas gift early. It was an Xbox controller. It's carbon black, really cool. I haven't been able to play my Xbox in a week. I booted it up before I even started Witcher 3 just to see how it looks. I fucking deleted that game. I deleted Callisto off of my Xbox.
I beat it and
God.
I uninstalled it as well because it's a big game. But then they released a new update, so I'm kind of like, maybe I'll go back in. I didn't hate it as much as you, but I also think, because you and Giovanni, I believe, have both said that the Santa Claus movies are, I think you at the minimum, they're like your favorite. Those are your...
No, and
That's my favorite.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
That series is my favorite.
Also it is twofold because I've wanted and Matt is right. I've wanted, even back in the day, I was like, why was there not another Santa Claus movie? So I think it's the nostalgia of it, but I do, in all fairness, think they could have just made a movie out of this.
I do too.
Yeah, it's bloated. Also, one of my things is I don't know what audience they're trying to attract here. Because you could tell there's a lot of, and I'm not going to say there's like, I'm not going to be a typical liberal fucking opinionist and say it's right-wing dialogue. There is dialogue that makes fun of a lot of everything, including wokeness and other shit in that realm. But I think it's a weird mix because it's clearly meant for kids, yet half of the dialogue is written to appeal to the adults now that love the original. So there's definitely a tonal imbalance.
They do this swing thing. So when it starts and they go into their spiel, like coming off of, Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3, that energy is there. And the minute they get really far into it, they pull back real quick. And it catches you off guard. If you've seen the first 3, it's like a little off.
See, one thing I do appreciate about it is it ebb and flows. Like, you'll have moments that don't feel anything like the original, And then you have like episode 5 is very humor of the original. Much more.
Yes.
It was cute kid humor with not a whole lot of innuendo, but it still worked. I do like seeing Scott Calvin as Scott Calvin again. I thought that was pretty neat. The
Mhm.
whole them just kind of living normal lives thing.
Yeah.
One of the things that frustrated me is they made it abhorrently obvious that the son needed to be Santa.
Yeah.
The entire time, he's talking about wanting to make lists and knowing what these kids want for Christmas already and all that. The daughter clearly speaks to animals. Like, and it's not an ease-in process. They basically throw it in your face, but at the same time, in order to try to distract you, they introduce Cal Penn to be like, no, he's Santa, and if he's not going to be Santa, it's definitely not going to be any of these people again. Don't worry about that. The whole, it's almost like we know what's going to fucking happen here. Like, you got greenlit for a season 2. It's not going to end on a cliffhanger.
They needed some kind of
Mhm.
antagonist, but they went about it the wrong way.
Yeah, because it was just greed. Basically, he ran a company that was Amazon. That, his whole storyline is basically the equivalency of the bad guy from Quantum of Solace who's just taking the water from one village. He's this dude's just taking some, he's just making Christmas meaningless.
He's just brown Jeff Bezos.
Basically.
It's also his concept of when they introduce him and they introduce his failing ideas and his company failing, and he just wants to be better. He wants to be richer,
Be
be
better.
more famous. He wants the company to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They only introduce, I think, in episode 5 and 6, they introduce the point where he looks at his daughter and he's like, "I'm doing this for us," but you don't get that vibe.
No,
in the first 4
also,
episodes
the only
at all.
flashbacks you get are terrible. It's one scene. Like, if you really wanted to showcase how Christmas should be important to him, it should be the first Christmas with your wife. And then the Christmas, maybe they make it make sense to where the next Christmas she was pregnant. And then you have the daughter in there, newborn on that, or the next Christmas she's whatever, 6 months, whatever old. Like, but all they do is show you where he's reading a fucking story, with the wife, and it's like, that's not a whole, like, Cal Penn, his character had no emotion to me. There was such a hollow fucking character. Even at the end, when he, realizes his wrongs, it's just this fucking, like, whatever kind of vibe. At least that's how I took it.
He was completely wrong for this entirely. Like, it just, if they would have found somebody different, and I don't know,
I don't think he was bad for the role.
Anything,
but I think the role was shit. Is the problem? I don't think it had anything to do with his acting. I think because I love him in Harold Kumar Christmas 3. Like, I think he's a decent actor. I just think that the character itself is fucking hollow, and it's what could he have done to make that character more likable or more realistic or more loving? Like, what realistically?
Well, it's to that point. It's the character is driven by his greed, but he keeps bringing up these small tags about, like, my daughter's my world. I was like, but you're not really, like, you say that, but none of your actions imply that. Like,
Not
you know what I
even-
mean?
not even
Yeah,
in the
so, like,
beginning.
as-
By telling the daughter to like not be around when he's making those executive decisions because he knows that he's being a piece of shit and he doesn't want his daughter to be exposed to that.
Which is
when
also
he used to
literally a
include her in
callback.
everything.
Yeah, it's also a callback to the dialogue before of, like, that's why I bring her to work with me. And then when the head elf throws it back at him, he's like, oh, she doesn't come with me anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and then the whole thing with the jacket was obvious. Like, there's the problem with it is it's so cliched in the fact that you could everything by a mile. Like, from episode 2, the son's supposed to be passed down Santa Claus. The only thing you don't know for sure is if Tim Allen's going to take the reins or if it's going to be the kid. But by the Yuleverse, you know what's up. Which I also got to give the show credit. They did add a lot of backstory to the Scott Calvin Santa Claus, which I personally loved. I love the fact that Bernard came back and he looks terrible.
But they
They
explain it.
explain it.
because he's a human now.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think David Krumholtz has done a lot of drugs. or
Dude, what
something.
is up with him? Why did he look like he was silly putty? Like, have you guys ever seen the movie American Splendor? He looked like the guy Paul Giamatti was portraying. Like, he looked terrible.
He looks like
Silly
he's
buddy.
he looks like he stood too close to an oven and was melting.
Yeah,
Man,
it's
that fucking broke me, man.
I'm sorry. You
It's
can throw
just it's in my head now. The image of him melting. Like,
if you push him on top of a newspaper, you can read it off of him. But like,
No,
yeah, he looked
so-
terrible,
so-
bad.
He
Like
did,
Tim Allen's
yeah.
60 and looks better than he does. But how old is he? He's got to be
does.
mid 40s.
So there's no way they wouldn't do this, but I liked in the first three movies the left unsaid of what happens to Santa Claus. And I knew with them alluding to like, well, you can't live forever, you know, I kind of liked if they would have left like us not seeing that past Santa and maybe mention it, but I don't know.
To
Then again, I
me-
like horror movies, so that's probably why.
To me, honestly, it did make it a little bit cooler the fact that like he wasn't just Santa; he was chosen to be Santa. Like for me, I really like that. I like the fact that nothing was coincidence, and it is a little dumb though when like they have that whole scene of like, come on, you think of somebody saying, "Hey, he's gonna knock me off the roof," and then even he's like, "Yeah, Santa's not gonna." It's like you never thought about that. Like you've been Santa for 28 years, and you never thought, "Hey, I would never fall off a roof if somebody shouted at me." Like, what the fuck happened that night?
But he's fallen off of roofs for other reasons.
I will
Yeah.
say his scene in the Starbucks type place where he's just ordering diabetes in a glass was pretty
Yeah,
funny.
Holy shit, dude.
And then she's like, dude, it's Christmas. I already have a bad enough time working here.
Yeah, and he's like, man, this is gonna be an adjustment, isn't it?
But it was a little weird because did you guys ever watch that show Last Man Standing he had?
Yes.
No.
So do you remember the episode? There was an episode where Tim, the Toolman Taylor, is a repairman that comes to the house.
Yep.
Mhm.
And he really just looked like Tim the Toolman Taylor's portrayal in that show as Santa, like with the gray hair and everything. I was like, this is a little fucking Tim Allen weird universe going on. I don't know what I think about that.
It's weird though, seeing
So
him not as Santa and seeing Bernard though. You're just like,
Yeah, yeah.
What
So yeah,
happened?
Bernard looks fucking
Going back-
awful, and that's why they had him all in his old
he's actually
uniform
44
because
years old now.
yeah, but he literally looks like his body, like
He's-
when he was younger, was here,
he's
and then
2
now
years-
he's here. Like,
He's 2 years younger than me, and I don't look that good, and I look better than him.
yeah, but you don't have Hollywood money either.
True.
Like, he literally ate himself into oblivion and then had Botox. Like, that's how he looks. He looks like he's bloated every day, even with the Botox.
The Blowtox.
The
He needs to get one of those
That's what it is.
BBLs, the fat sucked from his face, shoved into
but
his
then
ass.
like the other pictures of him are just
Oh my god! Oh no! No!
Holy shit.
it
Oh.
is I, David.
Oh, oh no, what happened to him? Oh no.
I just think about how he looked in 10 Things I Hate About You, and then I see that picture, and it's just like, what the
I'm-
fuck happened to you,
I'm
man?
gonna give you even later. Harold and Kumar 3 when he's in the White Castle. Doesn't look anything. He looks like he ate his former self. Holy shit, that's scary. Bernard, what has happened to you?
And then he's with Shitbreak. What's the name? Shitbreak?
Get some help.
He's in
From,
McDonald's
American Pie.
therapy is what it fucking looks like. Holy shit. He needs to grow a beard fast. Hide that fucking shit. Nobody wants to see that. So Jen, you were a big fan of the originals. What was your kind of take on the overall vibe of this? Of the
So
series?
I really, my favorite Santa Claus movie is the first one. I didn't really care for the second one. The third one I did enjoy, obviously not as much as the first one. So
I love the
with
second
this
one.
series,
I hate you, Jen.
with
Get it-
this
get her out.
series,
Get her out.
with this series, I was excited and hopeful for it. I do agree that Cal Penn's character was basically just a filler for this storyline. It does make you think, okay, is the youngest son gonna take over as Santa? Like, is Cal Penn gonna take over as Santa? Or is Tim Allen just gonna continue to be
Well,
Santa?
Jen also thought they were going to go girl power, make the daughter.
Yeah, and I think that's just
But
because I
they
had
made a bunch of
recently
jokes.
watched.
They made a bunch
Yeah,
of jokes throughout it. Yeah.
I had recently watched the movie Noelle, where Anna Kendrick plays Santa's daughter, and she ends up taking over as Santa. So that's why I was like,
Feminist
well, maybe they'll
garbage.
do it that way. Well, I mean,
I'm
with the way that
joking.
they're changing, especially like comic movies now, you never know. But
I'm sorry. Did anybody watch Black Adam?
No.
Haven't
yeah.
finished
Not
it, but I
yet.
started it.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. The first 5 minutes of that movie pissed me off because literally they ousted Snyder and then made a movie that looked like it's directed by Snyder. They ripped his fucking style off so hard. It was frustrating to watch. Like I literally paused it and bitched. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like they literally when Snyder made movies, it's like this guy's making too much slow motion music video. Black Adam's introduction is literally a slow motion music.
It's all it is with painted black.
It is fucking beyond infuriating. And fuck The Rock. He needs to do Rundown 2 or something. I'm so tired of The Rock being the new face. I like The Rock, but he's the new face of Fast and Furious. He's the new face of fucking Jumanji. He's the new face. It's stopping the new. Just you're getting old, by the way. Black Adam looked fucking old. The steroids are taking their fucking toll. Like just do Hobbs and Shaw 2, where you get to just punch random bad guys, walk away. Like, yeah, I don't know. The Rock, I'm a little burnt out by him. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
all right. So the one thing though that I was a little disappointed with the storyline on was you literally see his oldest son Charlie once in the movie where
Yeah.
He also looks
goes
bad.
Yeah, he's got AIDS.
yeah
Or something. I
where
don't know. Maybe a
Tim
thyroid
Allen
issue.
goes to visit him to see if he'll take over as Santa, and he's living in Florida, married with a kid. And that's the only mention or sight of him. Not even like when they come back to live in the real world in Chicago, like they don't even show like Scott being like, "Hey Charlie, I'm back in the
Well,
States. Like,
I think
come over for Thanksgiving or whatever."
I think they made their point on that when the whole thing was he hadn't even told the wife. Like I think the whole
Right.
concept was he was kind of hiding who he really was or who
Mhm.
his dad.
Yeah, but I would have liked to have had that like tied up. Like I would have liked to have seen Charlie one more time
I
where
mean-
Scott at least tells him, "Hey, I'm gonna stay being Santa. Like no worries."
Yeah, I don't disagree. I just took it as by like the fact that like he's in Florida, the opposite of the North Pole. He hasn't told his wife. Like he's got, there's like literally his wife didn't know he had a dad. That sort of type thing. Like I took that very much as like he just didn't want anything to do. Like didn't want anything to do with Tim Allen at that. Which was sad, really. Like he literally is hiding who he is.
No, she knew of him. She just thought that he was what is it, a fisherman?
Yeah, own boats or
Fucking-
Yeah,
yeah.
fisherman.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple kind of weird loose ends in this with that. I do like the Yule verse where they do go back and add some weight to it. You get to meet the different Santas, and one of the oh man, I didn't even
Is
think
one
about
of them
it.
Krampus?
Yeah, one of them's
Yeah.
Krampus. How's the horns looking?
I'm doing something different. That's what he tells him.
Oh, you have something to share with the class?
Yeah, go ahead and keep
Matthew?
talking because I gotta pull it up, yo.
But they did make mention of Papa Gijo, Topo Gijo.
That's still one of my favorite lines in that fucking movie.
I don't know, man. That Yuleverse episode kind of breaks it for me. The
You don't like that one?
That's my
mystique.
favorite episode.
Is it too
But-
much backstory?
Yeah, I liked we make jokes about like Santa Claus got murdered and we don't know what happened, but like when we were younger, those first couple of movies, like just the mystique of like Scott Calvin getting to be Santa Claus and him like not knowing the process and going through, and that explanation of what happened to that Santa before being left out. When you're younger, it's like it added to that magical. When you're older, you're like, they straight up murdered that man and now he's gone into oblivion. But I feel like the explaining everything in the Yuleverse was kind of a bit much.
Well,
At least maybe if they're gonna do 2 seasons, like it would have been nice if they kind of padded that out.
I think a big part of it was also like killing fan theories that had like the Mrs. Claus theory.
Right.
So like the whole concept is for a long time it's been like there had to have been other Mrs. Claus. They even call it out at the beginning of this show.
Mm-hmm.
She sort of has like a little existential breakdown, and then it's explained that basically there was no Claus before that because you're the first. Which I can understand. Maybe you thinking that I can understand the idea of like that's a little thin. If you're adding a backstory of it just being like, well, you're the one. You know what I mean? Like he's the Neo of the Santa Claus.
I loved it.
Kind of
I'm a
is.
lore whore.
Yeah.
If there was a penis and when you sucked it instead of a sperm, lore came out, I would suck that penis
Hold on,
all day.
I fucked up and started playing the trailer, but it's not fitting right.
Oh god.
We're good.
So episode 5 was my favorite. I loved it, but I do understand the mystery concept because it was cool to have that level of mystery. Like, and it was cool to think that you just killed Santa Claus. Like,
Yeah.
he's
To be
dead.
fair.
You took over, and then if you die, somebody else will take over.
'Cause
Like,
I remember even being young, first seeing that and being like, but what happened to that guy? Like, and then you're little, so it just like drifts
Yeah.
off.
It's like, whatever. Nobody
He
cares.
turned into clothes. That's what he did.
Keep talking, guys.
Also, that Santa's like, yeah, you think I just fall off roofs and die? It's like, so really? So you pratfall on purpose?
Well, yeah, that like
and
was
possibly break your back?
that
Like,
means you were looking for a fucking way out, doesn't it?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that means technically he committed suicide.
Well, he
yeah, career suicide.
he's just like, I'm done, yo. I'm done. I don't
Yeah.
want this anymore. Get out of my face.
But the whole
I know.
creation of Mrs. Claus thing, it shows you that it was the people with the marketing that took over the whole Santa Claus theme and added a Mrs. Claus to make it more, what do you call it, household?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
there is
household
a-
friendly.
See,
Yeah.
but see, but now I want a movie about that Santa Claus before Scott, because clearly he hated his job, so he had been
Well,
planning
well-
this out for a
Well,
long
was
it,
for
time.
it
what,
would be
60
fucking.
years,
It
you
would be
said?
depressing though, because he literally is like, I had World War II, Vietnam, you know, and it's like
The
he had
Great
all the
Depression,
Yeah,
yeah,
he had all the
60 years or
worst.
something like that, right?
He was probably chain smoking, just the most
So
racist dude
the
ever.
question then becomes: is as long as he's Santa, is he immortal? And if that is if it's yes, then how do the kids age?
Well, I think it's because this was the first human Santa. I think they threw that in there to kind of explain that all. Like, Scott's getting older. This is the first human Santa. Every other one was created by who? Not God, because God's not real.
Yeah, but he's not getting older though. Like when he's Santa, he in fact when he became less Santa, he got younger looking. So like Santa, he's almost locked in age. So the
Yeah,
question
and
becomes,
you can tell with the smoothing of his skin.
now,
and
do you get locked in age when the suit goes on? Is that it? Like, before and after, you're going to age like a human. But if you are the Santa Claus, but then there brings in other lore. You have things like Fred Claus that state that if you're Santa, your family's immortal. So like, it's
Well,
going to
it's
be
also
depends
Mrs.
on where
Claus.
it depends on where they go with season 2.
Mrs. Claus doesn't wear the coat, and if the coat and the hat hold the magic, like if donning the suit gives you the magic, and now you're Santa Claus, how is Mrs. Claus staying the age she's staying?
Yeah,
So how
she
do the,
would
how
have
do
the
the,
gray
how
hair,
do the
though.
kids? Well, I mean, is it because she signed the clause of marriage? So she's
Oh, okay,
got her own
that could be it,
separate
okay.
sort of
This is
arrangement.
the weirdest
She was the
conversation a
side
bunch
clause.
of grown ass men
All
in
right,
their
all right.
30s
So
have ever
I
had.
I made a trailer, and it's yeah, we're gonna play it. Judge me. I hope there's audio. If not, it's Alex's.
Okay. Alex is our audio engineer who doesn't do his job.
Yeah, he's just. I'm not doing shit today.
Sorry.
Hey, yo! What's up?
Hey, buddy. It's Santa's job, but Santa fell off a roof. Your roof. You read the card, you put on the suit that clearly falls under the Santa Claus, and now you're Santa, okay?
I don't know what's happening to you. You're starting to look like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Okay, look, so what? You put on a little weight. A little weight? Does this look like a little weight to you? Scott Calvin. You know you're Scott Calvin. So let's make this simple. I say name, you say Scott Calvin. Name. Papa Gijo.
Did he do anything?
That's frustrating. That wasn't the final cut I made, but that will be on YouTube. There's a little bit of an extended cut that'll be releasing that on YouTube soon. I'll probably release it tonight for
Shannon's coming on
Christ
as well.
Mass. You're not muted.
That
Chris.
was really good.
Okay, 'cause he's
That
gonna
was
wanna
really
listen.
good.
So I have another cut that I'll put. Watch that one on
I'm
YouTube.
muted.
This one, I extended the ending a little bit. Because he goes on that little bit of a tear, naming all of them, and I added that in there. But that'll be on YouTube. I'm gonna post that probably tonight. I actually think I have it posted in YouTube, just unlisted. So I just got to add tags, and that'll be out there tonight. That's the newest trailer. I rediscovered my Nothing But Trouble trailer, and I hate it, so I'm not publishing it. My next trailer project is I kind of want to turn like a horribly violent movie into a comedy. I want to go the opposite spectrum. I don't know what and how.
It would probably be a pain in the butt, but it would kind of be cool eventually as you start making more of these, like,
I love doing these. They're fun. Like my Willy Wonka I had, that was sheer fun.
to put them ahead almost grindhouse style to your two short films,
Oh, that's a good
like
idea. And
fake
see-
trailer, fake trailer, fake trailer.
I would
film.
have to
Yep.
do another one.
That is a really good idea.
All right, so I got to think of what trailer to remix next then.
And then to do that, and then like we all watch all of them and do commentary over the whole grindhouse showing.
When
What
I was
what
when I was
if
muted,
I-
I said American Psycho.
Ooh. I was also thinking like turning like Hostel into a comedy road trip movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, do like a laugh track over 1 hour photo.
That movie's just weird. Like I like that movie, and I remember when Robin Williams first took his dramatic swing, and like I do think it's bullshit that nobody talks about what dreams may come, but they talk about 1 hour photo and insomnia. Like
Dude, what dreams may come is amazing.
It's a horribly depressing movie, but it's awesome. I wish
really
they
good.
with the amount of colors and shit in that movie, I wish they had a 4K. That would be a good HDR movie. So back to this now. Okay, first question: you guys looking forward to the next season of it, or what's the feeling on it?
I'm looking forward to the next season, but I
Yeah,
will
me
agree with
too.
Anthony. Once I got to episode 5 and I saw it, and episode 6, I was like, this could have been a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, it's too bloated.
It could have totally been a 2-hour movie.
Well, all of the scenes where he's a human could have been summed up in the scene of like, you know, they all have their life going on, and you still show those little tidbits, but then you only really need him playing the game by himself. And being like, you don't need
Oh, God.
his whole getting the job with everything now. I thought that was a kind of a waste of time. You know what I mean? Other than, because what do? They get into a snowball fight with a kid?
Mhm.
Like, that's literally 10 minutes of show that didn't need to be there.
Hopper.
Ah, what's up,
Oof.
buddy?
Lewis is now turned into a dog.
Yep, cat and dog today. Hey, what you doing? I was just saying hi.
Get down. Get
Hey, you
down.
want to hang out?
What's
Get
up, Hopper?
Want to go watch a movie? All right, I'll go away. Watch a movie later. Bye, bro. See you soon. Ah,
He's being attacked by
they're
both.
haunted by animals.
Jesus. No, now watching the whole thing now, I don't think this needed another season, but I am interested to see what they're gonna do with
With this
another
next one,
season
yeah.
now.
I'm interested, but like, what can they do? Like, what is next?
Well,
like,
you're gonna have his son
It's gonna-
learning the ropes.
It's going to explore more on the
You
kids.
know, you're gonna have another. There'll be
And-
some other conflict, whether they bring in
and they're
another
gonna-
character from the
They-
past.
they're
or
going
not.
to take over together. Watch.
They have an in if they mess with the Yuleverse storyline.
Yeah, I mean, do they bring out another character from like Christmas lore to challenge the throne? Like you can do that sort of thing.
If
Like,
they brought back Jack Frost, that would
Well,
be
what
kinda
that's
cool.
not. What if you
That'd be
brought
awesome.
back Jack Frost's son to kind of replay what his father did, and you bring Jack Frost as like you bring Martin Short back
Yeah.
as like if he re-enters the fold for a couple episodes, introducing his son who's challenging like a Wakanda sort of fucking situation. Like
or you could do a
have
Krampus
options.
versus Santa Claus. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
When I saw
is-
Krampus, I was like, oh, they could totally do this.
Dude, you gotta watch A Christmas Horror Story.
we reviewed it.
We did.
Oh, it's so good.
We did. The only thing I didn't like about that movie was that because they were it was an anthology run, they weren't cut very well together. I hate that they you get
The ending
10
is
minutes
cool
of
though.
story A,
Well, there's
10 minutes of story B.
there's
I
also a
hated
huge
that.
fuck up in the editing we were talking about where
Yeah.
before the
with the Shatner.
so with the families, they literally swerve their car into a ditch and then it cuts, and then William Shatner's literally talking about like that poor family we lost last year. And it's like that scene should have been after Krampus starts taking them out. But instead, before you even see Krampus take them out, William Shatner tells you straight up they're dead. They've been missing since last year. It's a real big fuck up in editing, but I love that movie.
The
It's
greatest
a good movie.
messed up editing in history to me is Arnold Schwarzenegger's car constantly repairing itself.
Oh, in Commando?
Yeah.
Let's take Sully's car. I sent you guys that video earlier of this movie Accident Man 2, which was awesome. But there's
So what is it a horror
okay,
movie?
no,
or
no,
is
no.
it
It's a martial
action?
arts action comedy. So the first one, he's an assassin in like a guild of assassins, and then he kind of wants out, and they betray him. So the movie is him like basically ripping through these elite assassins. It's awesome martial arts fight scene, but it's goofy. I mean, you know, it's goofy. It's like Jackie Chan goofy. Even
That's the one that stars your best friend Atkins, right?
Scott Atkins. I would love
Scott
to interview
Atkins.
that guy. Fuck you, he's awesome. He should be mainstream.
He's your best friend.
He should be fucking mainstream. And then
His
so
boyfriend.
he should be fucking mainstream. So the sequel is he moves to a different, like a Mediterranean country, still is doing assassinations, and then they kidnap his friend because there's a high-level hit on this mafioso woman's son. So he's then tasked to protect him. So then the second half of the movie is the high-level elite assassins in that area coming after this kid to try to kill him, and it's one badass martial arts scene after another. The clown literally comes in where he's another assassin who he's literally got a stick with a cinder block on it.
What?
And so they're talking, and he's like, yeah, you know, the clown is like, he's being weird, and he's like, you know, and you're a pedo. And then the clown kind of makes this like, don't tell sort of motion, but in post they edited it to say weirdo, even though his mouth clearly mouths pedo. And it's the weirdest modern fuck up in editing I've ever, like, it's terrible. Like, what? And the problem is just cut the fucking that scene. Like, you give a close up of the character saying it, and it clearly doesn't match. Like, just don't show his face then. Just show the creepy clown for a couple more seconds. But other than that, movie's awesome.
That's weird. As soon as I saw that clip, I was like, this looks like it's from like what is it, Stitches?
Well, dude, their fight scene's awesome too. Because after that, like, they start like beating the shit out of each other, and the clown tells him like he can't feel pain. So then the fight becomes Scott Adkins like just doing more and more damage. Like, there's one of them where, because the whole thing was he's the accident man, so his assassinations look like accidents. Like, you know, things like the one of them is there's a hermit who doesn't leave his house, but he goes outside every day at noon to water his plants, and he's got these automatic shutters, and they hacked into the shutters and they came down and beheaded him. Like, it's all like all of his kills are designed to look like accidents. And so, like, in his workshop, they're testing things. So, like, him and the clown is like a 5-minute fight scene where the clown pulls out a baseball bat, and it's all really well choreographed. It really is. But he like one of the test things he has is like a saw blade that malfunctions and shoots out. And so he does it to the clown, and it sticks into the clown, and he goes, "Do you feel that?" And the clown just like pulls it out, and he's like, and he's got this, and then Scott Adkins has this look on his face like, Jesus fuck. So like as the fight progresses, it gets more and more brutal, and the whole time the clown just isn't feeling pain, so he just keeps going at him like a psycho. If you're into, it also taps into the old school martial arts fan, because there's a lot of scenes within the fight choreography that if you remember old school Jackie Chan style movies, you'd have a shot where like the character would hit somebody, and even old school like Jet Li and stuff like that, where they would hit somebody, and then the next shot would be like the dude spinning into a fucking like stair thing, like, you know, a raised, like, it was like that almost where it was just goofy but it made sense. You have a lot of that in those, and I, you know, me being like an old school martial arts fan, and they don't produce enough of these movies to where like the point is like, even if they're goofy, because the shit's so choreographed so well, I love them. Like with martial arts and horror movies, I will withstand a large level of goofiness because I enjoy the genre so much. But I recommend him that, and Scott Adkins, I do love him. I mean, he's got 2 movies called Debt Collector 1 and 2 on Netflix. Those are amazing. Like, the dude really should be fucking mainstream. Like, the fact that he isn't a mainstream action star like Van Damme was able to do, like Schwarzenegger was able to do, and it's all because of his, his career leading up. He's done a lot of B movie shit. He's never been able to graduate. Even in AAA movies, he's been a side guy. He was in Expendables 2. He was in, I believe, Guardians of the Galaxy or one of them. Like, he's been in those things, but never as a central character, and it's a shame because he's a good actor. He's actually rather fucking funny, and he's an incredible martial artist. And it's like, if you have him in a fight scene involved in choreographing it in any way, it's going to be a damn good fight scene. And I just wish he was. I wish he was in more shit.
He
He's
wasn't
always
in
a
any of.
bridesmaid, but never a bride.
Wait, he didn't play. Or no, I'm thinking of someone else.
Well, he was in IP Man 4. He played an American soldier on top of it, and he's a fucking bloke.
Didn't we do one of his movies or no?
No, I've never made you guys watch any of his movies. Not that they're bad, but like he's almost like the Mark Dukakis of the fucking modern era. Like, never 100% achieved AAA, but like touched it. That's basically where he is in its game. I know he was in a Marvel movie, but he was a character that got like introduced in the movie and then killed off in the movie. But he's like, if you watch a movie where he was a stuntman in a lot of American martial arts movies before too. So like, there's shit that he's in that's just not even listed because he was like dude 3 who gets kicked in the face into the dumpster. You know what I mean?
Dude 3.
That's how I would fucking cast all stuntmen. The dude 1, 2, and 3. But okay, let's get it back on track. How should we rate this? Should we rate it episode by episode or just the whole fucking thing because it should have been shorter?
I think
Probably
the whole thing as a
thing.
whole, yeah.
We're gonna start with the most idealistic of us, Jen. How did you like this? What's your rating on the limited, not limited series?
Oh man. Are you doing your hot dog?
I don't know if I have
creation,
the mind to think of. Let's go.
Your
All right,
hot
hold
dog
on.
Creation.
Chocolate covered red licorice
or-
for the meat.
Alright, this is already disgusting.
We're going super tasty.
Super tasty.
I think the hot dog bun has to be dipped in cocoa. I love cocoa.
I was okay. So what we're gonna do is
So
we're gonna take.
we're starting this off with soggy bread.
No. No. Here's how you fix that. The bun itself is 2-day-old iced stolen bread. So when you soak it in the hot cocoa, it doesn't absorb fully and still gives you a bit of crunch. We're gonna
Or
add.
it could be cocoa powder.
Sound like it's giving me the bubble gut already.
Oh yeah, we're gonna add a nice, delicious eggnog sauce to cover the hot dog itself, almost like a honey mustard, but eggnog flavored. And then we're gonna go ahead and put Christmas style sprinkles, and then cream cheese dollops.
So we've
Cream
this is
cheese
a
frosting
tangent,
dollops.
but we watch a lot of Great British Bake Off, and I just hear the like Matt's Christmas dog.
Oh
is...
God, I would never make this in real life. For one thing, you lose toes eating it. It's fucking Diabetes City. Anything with eggnog sauce is a bad omen, even though I love eggnog.
Because we watch a lot of Great British Bake Off, Rory runs around saying, "Ready, set, bake."
That's cute. He's gonna be a star. Jen,
so soggy cocoa bread.
all right. If you want, I can substitute the sauce for a chocolate cream sauce used with eggnog.
Jesus Christ.
Jen, how many of these delicious hot dogs you give the series?
I'm gonna have to go 4. Yeah.
Let's go with Alex next.
For me, I enjoyed this show, but it wasn't great, so it was a 3 for me. I did like everything that was going on. I think it was actually better than Santa Claus 3 because I really did like Frost's Martin Short's character.
I'm gonna kick you in the kneecap.
I-
when see you.
Go
I
ahead,
will-
man. I just I
I
don't.
did
Martin
also-
Short is Martin Short.
It was better than the expectations I had for. I'll put it that.
Yeah. But overall, it is a 3. I think having the doofus son is kind of weird because there's they're saying that Scott Calvin has one normal son and then one doofus son and a daughter that.
Well, the
talks to-
normal son is Scott Calvin's son. His doofus
Yeah.
son is Santa Claus's. I think that's the difference.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. And he was around all those elves all his life. So
Well, that's all.
he's
Yeah,
a
it's all
doofus.
he's ever known. So of course, I mean, he's like a kid who was homeschooled.
Yeah,
You're fucking
not
weird,
very
bro.
well from a principal.
He knows everything he needs to know about the North Pole, though, buddy. But when
Yeah.
your lifelong career is going to be Santa, I don't think you give a shit about books.
Yeah,
Giovanni, these delicious dogs.
I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. I enjoyed it. I will say, that's definitely stemming from I love the Santa Claus series. I love the lore. The fact that the episode 5 had the lore just did it for me. But I understand where Anthony's coming from, where like that mystery needed to be held. I think that episode 1, 2, and 3 were the weakest, but I understand why they were there. I just think the buildup was too long, way too long.
the
They could have
intro
cut
was
that
shit.
down to. Oh, and the intro. What crackhead did the intro?
did.
It's definitely like a
Like-
rip off of Rick and Morty type.
You know
It's like
when
he
when
had to
Matt
make
does
an
the
intro for
when
a
Matt
show.
does the zoom in cam with him smiling. That's what it is.
That's when the reindeer's right there. Like,
Yeah,
It was so
when we
weird.
first watched that intro, I did have sort of a like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like why is it doing this? Does this work anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It works.
I imagine they made the show and they're like, it looks good. We got everything done. And then they're at the meeting. They're like, it goes live on this date. And they're like, what about the intro? Why would we need an intro?
May-
It's
may-
a show. Oh shit.
Maybe the intro is the like the epitome of the series itself trying to stay like Santa Claus trying to stay hip and modern with the new youth for Christmas. Like whoever was putting out the show was like, no, dude, these kids fucking play Fortnite, drink G Fuel, and watch Rick and Morty. We got to do something to tap into that.
I guaranteed if they would have fucking ripped off Home Improvement's intro, but just Santa Claused it, people would have loved it. Yeah. Exactly.
God damn, now I want to watch some of that. We own it on Vudu. It's on Vudu.
So
Lewis, yep, it's on you.
Oh God.
If it's below a 3, you're gonna make all the children sad.
No, I think if I'm being fair, because I went into this knowing like this is clearly not gonna be for me. Because I wanted a Santa Claus sequel, but the way Disney is approaching these like nostalgia projects they're doing.
Speaking of which, Charlie Cox has come out and said that Daredevil's gonna be dark, but not nearly as gory.
it's not going to be as gory. Yeah.
He also said to detractors saying, don't change Daredevil, make it the same with the way we liked it. Watch something else was his comment. So Charlie
Ooh.
Cox is on the big fat cunt list.
Oh boy.
Anyways, go on.
No, yeah, I think if I'm being fair, this is a 3. It's not great. I don't think it's like exceptionally great, and I don't think it's terrible. I just didn't need to be a show, and calling it a show is modest. This is more like a limited series, although since they're doing a
Yeah, it's a
second
limited,
season now-
not limited. Yeah, it's dumb.
now it's a show.
Dumb.
This could have been under 2 hours, maybe a little bit over 2 hours. Call it a day. I felt it was too bloated, but
What if the
I do-
episodes were 21 minutes, like old school sitcom format? Like each episode,
yeah,
the whole thing at that point takes you what? 120 minutes? 130 if they go long on a couple?
I
well,
can see
the
that.
intro and the outro, that's about 5 to 7 minutes long right there.
I do appreciate there's no recapping. Like there's none of that like last week.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, no, I hate that shit.
Like I don't want to have to skip 2 fucking intros. You know?
Yeah.
No, but I think if you liked the first 3 movies, there's something in here for anyone that's enjoyed the first 3 movies. Like I said, I don't think this show is for me, but again, I think that's too much of a like nostalgia glasses. But I do have an issue with these nostalgia projects that people keep doing. Like you saw it with Star Wars when, they first did that new trilogy and now you have Indiana Jones coming back and all this stuff.
Oh, by the way, did you see that while Shia LaBeouf isn't in it, he will be explained where his character is?
Oh, really?
Who's directing it? It's a good director directing
Was
it.
he run over by a
I
motorcycle?
forgot who it is. It's a good
I
action
wonder-
movie director doing it.
Wonder if we'll get a Crystal Skull in there.
God, I fucking hope.
The amount
I mean,
of de-aging in
yeah,
that movie is insane.
that's the thing is like half the movie is going to be like what's gone on the past 20 years. So like there's heavy Harrison Ford de-aging.
Listen, Harrison Ford broke his foot when one of the fake doors on the Star Wars set crushed it.
Are you
His
sure?
old
Are
ass.
you sure it's his foot and not his back? Because I'm pretty sure it was his back he broke on one of them as well.
No, that was in the plane, I think. when
Oh,
it
was it the
crashed.
plane crash? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a tough old codger. Like he just keeps
Oh, yeah.
going. He's basically like people don't say it enough, but he's Clint Eastwood part 2. Like I just feel like he just like stands in his window with the blinds just kind of open, like looking at people passing by his gate, just like motherfuckers, like for no reason.
Ah, fuck, man. This makes me want to change one of my movies for next week, but I'm not going to.
What movie?
Anyways,
What movie were you thinking?
so we just recently watched Titanic, who in Titanic is American heartthrob and national treasure
Billy Zane.
and icon
Billy
Billy Zane. And
Phantom.
Billy Zane, yes.
You guys, we did all see that. That was, I think, the only movie my dad ever took us to and watched the movie with us.
You know,
gotta feel
he's-
bad for him.
He signed on to do a trilogy. There are 2 movies we never got.
Oh, poor Billy Zane.
But no. It's for years I've said Congo. We have to do Congo.
And if you did the Phantom, we'd have to do Rocketeer then.
We did
We did
Rocketeer.
Rocketeer.
Good movie. That's a really good movie.
It's all part of the show, folks. It's all
I thought
part of the show.
Rocketeer was okay. I think mine was a middling review, to be honest.
Yeah, your review was like
Like, and I understand.
this movie.
Here's the thing: of all people, like, I fully understand nostalgia glasses. Like, I will say, I do love McCall's Navy, and I don't think it's all nostalgia glasses. Like, I will still put that movie on tonight and enjoy it. But it is a movie that I got as a kid and heavily enjoyed when I was young. So that's where I say the part of where actual nostalgia glasses come in, because like I do recognize it's a B-level movie, but even as an adult I find it funny. But you guys may watch it like, what the fuck? Like, I do understand that. I just do think it's not going to be as bad as you think. It's dumb, but it's funny dumb.
Oh, Congo is gonna be as bad as
I
you think it will
I
be.
don't remember it. I remember my parents rented it and I fell asleep when they watched it. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. I better watch it early in the day.
I remember watching it while young, even thinking like someone was high or
You
tripping.
didn't-
So
You
I
didn't-
just
you
love the
didn't wanna learn
albino
sign
gorilla
language
getting
after
cut
that,
in
ASL?
half.
so we do have Tarantino. Basically, we have a Tarantino quarter coming up. He's got 9 movies, and then we're including some other ones that he wrote, did screenwriting for. A concept I was thinking about, like one thing I'm thinking about for the months after that is Marvel. The next thing I'm thinking for the months after, or an idea for, is what if we looked up what was playing at old school drive-thrus and do double reviews of drive-thru classics. Like, I remember when we went to the drive-thru, we saw True Lies and Speed.
Oh, that's a good
Like,
combo.
I wonder how many of those awesome combos were out there back in the day, and we just didn't go very often. So I don't,
We'll have to do some research on
yeah,
that.
I'd imagine
Never
there's
been to a
the last
drive-thru.
the last drive-through or the first drive-through I went to there was Boys to Men, or not Boys to Men, Menace to Society, and I think it was a Nightmare on Elm Street, one of the movies.
what a weird fucking mix.
That's a weird mix, but those are two
It's
different
like
movies.
that's literally like doing Black Panther and fucking Halloween. Like, how does that make sense? They were just both released at the same fucking time. I mean, I think I also think it'd be really cool to, like, I don't know. I would love to go to a drive-thru, but I either got to go to shithole Chicago or fucking Downers Grove or wherever there's one, some suburb. Because the closest drive-thru is like 34th and something. Like, I'm gonna stay in my house where I won't potentially get stabbed. Thank you.
The last time I went through drive-through, some kid was running through the middle and clotheslined himself and almost broke
Oh, that's
my
enough.
window because the speaker
Oh.
slammed on it.
See, I was gonna say, if it wouldn't have almost broke your window, that would have been like a second show you got for free. Just laugh at him as he's bleeding.
And
It
that was
was-
a long
it
time
was
ago
pretty
because
funny.
they don't have those speakers anymore. You just dial it in.
Yeah, it's like a radio thing.
to your radio station.
Lewis, you said 3.
Yeah, 3. It's in the middle of the road.
I'm gonna go 3.5.
Stupid bitch.
Yep. I enjoyed some of the dialogue. I enjoyed the Tim Allen comedy influence. And also, like, even though I wasn't in love with some of the stuff. Like, I don't like the dances, a lot of the goofy kiddie shit. There is a little too much focus on stupid shit. I mean, the whole scene of him being in the jail cell just took way too long. I still enjoyed it. I'll watch the second season. I found myself chuckling way more, but I had low expectations because my idea behind it was like, yeah, it's a Disney Plus show. They're going to butcher whatever. And you're going to have a neutered Tim Allen, which you didn't really have. They had a lot of, maybe too much modern humor, but there was a lot of modern humor.
He had his quips in there, but it wasn't as much as like in the other movies.
But what I did like about it is the quips he was throwing out was also from like Santa's point of view at this point. Like OG Scott Calvin, like his quips were from Scott Calvin's point of view. And I do appreciate that he's still got that same sort of like sharp tongue, but instead it's him like criticizing something they've done in the North Pole, or you know what I mean? Like I enjoyed that. Like I appreciated that. Like they did a good job as far as separating, like, he's Santa. And even in the real world, he's fucking Santa because it's all he's ever known. It's, you know what I mean? So it's like, I do like the Yule verse. I like the backstory. And also the fact that it's now officially a television series. I really hope they tap into the nostalgia. I really hope you see Martin Short come back. Whatever the storyline they bring him in as. I really hope you see remnants. Like, I was disappointed that when they opened the door and you had the big nutcracker soldiers, it wasn't the robot Santa. Like, there was opportunities even in this season to do that and infuse it, and they failed. So I do hope that, like,
her husband.
Yeah, like I do have, like she runs into him. He's still in the school system, you know. Like I do hope in the second season, now that it's officially a TV show, the writers are less about hitting them in the face with making the series modern while trying to tap into nostalgia, and instead they just go full into the nostalgia and full into what made the original so great. Like, yes, give me Scott Calvin Santa. That's what he is. Because immediately, I mean, he's sarcastic throughout the whole fucking thing. And I actually liked his, like, Santa sarcasm. Because it was like, he's just fucking trolling people, basically. But they can do a lot of work for season 2. They could pull some fucking people in. And even if the story is going to revolve around the kid becoming Santa, there's opportunity for conflict if you bring in people like Martin Short and stuff like that. Anything that resonates with the original. Like, maybe do scenes where somebody's outside yelling down to him and you have sort of an existential Santa where Tim Allen's standing on that roof looking down thinking, I could just fall and I'd be out of this. Like, maybe go into a different direction than just, this movie was far too positive, or a TV show. Like, there was never a feeling of legitimate concern or peril, you know what I mean? Like, it's no
Even
problem.
when the elves started disappearing, you knew that
Yeah,
once
you knew
they
would
get them back in.
Yeah, if you guys are like me, I guarantee you, as soon as that started happening, the first thought was, as soon as he puts on the fucking coat, it'll all be fine. It'll be like reverse time. The use of the ball I liked. I wouldn't mind more use of, like, the ball to travel interdimensionally. You know what I mean? Like, if they're gonna go the Yuleverse direction, then this is technically only the universe of white male Santas, right? So, like, theoretically, there's another dimension of other Santas, alien, like, Santas, even
LeBron Santa.
Yeah, so, like, if you start
the Raiden Santa in this movie, was
dude,
amazing.
that's exactly what I said. I was like, it's fucking Raiden. Yeah,
as soon as I saw him, I was like,
that's like, here's the thing is, the problem is the funny ideas that you could use with that you can't really do, though, because, like, what if you had him travel through dimensions and it was always Tim Allen, like they did Jet Li in the one? But the problem is if you do that, you can't have Tim Allen doing Japanese because that's racist now.
Yeah.
So, like, and that would, don't get me wrong, it would be fucking hilarious if, like, every dimension was filmed differently and you had Tim Allen as Santa and it's filmed like Kill Bill. Like, you know what I like? There's huge opportunity, but a lot of the shit that would be funny for the adults will A, probably not resonate with the kids, and B, they're never going to do it because there will be some sensitivity.
I want a full season of the plasticky toy robot Santa to come back.
What if he bring him back as the main villain? Like, Like, bring him into the Yuleverse where he got cast off into a dimension. Like, whatever. Figure it out. Like, make it make sense. But I think next season definitely needs like a real sense of peril. But other than that, it was fun. I'll watch the second season. 3.5 for me. All right, boys and girls. Merry Christmas to everybody. This is the last episode of the holiday season. However, we've talked about it. Next week, it's not the last episode of the year, people. We've got
Next week is gonna get rough.
We've got a torturous one next week. So, what we're doing, if we've talked about before, but what we're doing is everyone has picked, and Jen still has to pick a movie very soon. We're all picking movies that we love or recognize as terrible movies that we still enjoy, and we're gonna review them all. So, Lewis has Congo, I have McCall's Navy, Alex has Gleaming the Cube.
Yeah.
Giovanni, what's yours again? Oh, the
Super Mario Brothers.
By the way, if you want to watch Super Mario Brothers, it is the you got to look for on YouTube the extended cut. That's the one we're reviewing. But we're all doing the guilty pleasure type films, and it's going to be a fucking slog. Fortunately, most of the movies we're doing don't have a whole lot of meat in them, so the reviews will be quick. But yes.
No, it's probably gonna be us shitting on each other more than the movie, but it'll be fun.
We've done that before for taste. It happens. But yeah, it's something we've talked about for a while, and we've toyed with it. Of like, it used to be like, oh man, Matt's gonna make us watch McCall's Navy, and then it formed into like, if we're watching McCall's Navy, we're also watching Congo.
I think McCall's Navy is gonna be
the big one on the table.
The last.
Because I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I know.
I'm gonna guarantee you, Giovanni, you're gonna go into it going, this is gonna be terrible. Matt, they've talked about it for a while. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna walk away and go, fuck, like I recognize how dumb that is, but I did not dislike it. That's gonna be the takeaway.
Oh,
Lewis, you're gonna have but you're gonna have to put aside your Alex bias. Because you have the same like Alex reasoning of like, nah man, here's the thing. Every time that movie would come off, it would rain. And I fucking hate it. That's why, like, you have the same, like, I've never seen the whole thing and I've had to watch parts of it over and over. So you got to wash that away. You got to
be fair to me, though, Alex has the weirdest biases on anything.
He literally, some of them are just, it's kind of like, well, nah, man, every time I try to watch this movie, there's this fucking kid riding his bike outside. He kept tooting his fucking horn every time I try to watch it. I just don't fucking like that movie. But these movies, I think all of us will have at least some legitimate reason to hate on each other for.
Where can we see Gleaming the
Prime
Cube?
Video for Gleaming the Cube.
Okay.
McCall's Navy on Vudu. I don't think it's actually streaming anywhere. Congo is streaming, I think, Hulu or Peacock, one of them.
One of the two.
And then the Super Mario Brothers is on YouTube. Jen will give us her title, and then we'll figure out that one from there.
Okay.
But everybody, please have a wonderful, and if you're in the Midwest, safe because of how fucking cold it is. Make sure your dogs and elderly family aren't stiff.
Yep.
Have a Merry Christmas. We will see you guys. I believe it's the 30th. So once again, New Year's Eve we'll be partying with you guys. I had contemplated doing a slightly later one to make sure we're live at midnight, but it would be virtually for no fucking reason. So. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week, and everybody have a wonderful
around 9-ish p.m. So
exactly.
sometimes we're a little late.
We're gonna be here exactly at 9-ish p.m.
Fabian, if you're listening, be patient.
Yeah, the shout out. Thank you, Slavi and Fabian for hanging out. Sorry we were late. We were just bullshitting really before the episode. KG. Yeah. Anybody else? Just remember to check out all the other ones. We've got if you go to the live category, I haven't. So I won another copyright strike, and I've got 1 day left on my next copyright strike. I noticed Violent Night is now on VOD, and it's $25, and nope, fuck Universal. But they got 1 day to lift the other copyright strike, and as soon as they do, I'll be putting those episodes into the actual playlist. I'm not doing editing on them anymore. I'm going to put a little marker in the comments of when the actual fucking thing begins after the intro ends. Click it, goddammit. I'm not doing another 9 gig file for that. Other than that, everybody have a wonderful Merry Christmas. Be safe.
Don't forget to like the video.
Like and subscribe. Yeah, like and subscribe. And actually,
smash that
yeah,
like
please,
button
Jesus,
right
fuck.
up your ass.
Yeah, like and subscribe. It does help with algorithms
you,
and shit.
YouTube.
And if you're not subscribing, you're missing out on a lot of me. That's your problem. So, bye everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.